Yes, my people, welcome back to EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. Once again, I'm back with another one. So, Oleksandr Usyk versus Deontay Wilder. Could this fight really be happening under Zuffa Boxing, Dana White promotion? Wow, I can't believe this, man. Seriously, man. I honestly thought that Usyk's final fight, his last dance, will be a rematch against Rico van Hooven, but it looks like that's not going to happen. According to various articles that are out there that are making the rounds, it looks like Oleksandr Usyk has opted to fight the bronze bomber from Alabama, Deontay Wilder, the former heavyweight champion of the world, next up instead. And for me personally, I have to say, man, I have to keep it real. I'm a little bit disappointed that Oleksandr Usyk is choosing to fight Deontay Wilder instead of Rico van Hooven, because I feel like a fight against Rico van Hooven, the rematch, is more competitive than a fight against Deontay Wilder, man. No disrespect to Deontay Wilder. You know, he was a really good champion, very good fighter, you know, knockout highlight king and everything like that. But for me personally, yeah, Oleksandr Usyk is way better, like levels above Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder is just not the same guy, man. Let's keep it real, man. You know what I mean? Like, let's not mince our words. I'm just keeping it real. I think Oleksandr Usyk should be having a rematch against Rico van Hooven. I believe personally that's the fight that all the boxing fans want to see, you know, Oleksandr Usyk be involved in next. You know, why is he choosing Deontay Wilder? Only he knows, man. Only he knows. By the way, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who supports the channel. Thank you so much. We have finally done it. We have reached 5,000 subscribers. Oh my God, what an achievement. I'm absolutely just like happy. Do you know what I mean? Like I just couldn't imagine one day this channel is gonna get to 5,000, because YouTube is very tough, man. It's so challenging. You have to put the work in. You have to be consistent all the way through, man. So to get to 5K, like, it's just an amazing achievement. I just want to thank everybody out there who supports the channel, likes every single video, comments, everyone that has subscribed, everyone that shares the link. Thank you so much, my people, man. I really appreciate it. The road to 10,000 subscribers is on now. You get me? We're gonna get there by a hook or by crook. We're getting to 10,000. So please continue to support the channel. And if you like boxing content, analysis, breakdowns, everything, yeah, listen, man, this is the place to be, my people. So please keep supporting the channel and share it to your friends, family, and enemies, man. I don't care. It's Enzo, the realest in the game. You already know, man. I keep it real all the way through. I don't mince my words. You know what I mean? I don't have no bias. You know what I mean? I don't hug up or try and be friendly with all these fighters and promoters, man. I do my own thing, man. If you already know, you know. But anyway, man, let's go back to this Oleksandr Usyk versus Deontay Wilder fight. For me personally, man, I think Usyk can do so much better than this. I can kind of understand why he wants to fight Deontay Wilder, because he has said in the past that he wants to fight all the big names from the last decade. So you're talking the AJs, the Furies. Obviously, Wilder's one of them. He's already fought AJ and Fury twice. So the only one left is Deontay Wilder. So I understand, like, that fantasy that Oleksandr Usyk has in his head. You know what I mean? He wants to accomplish that. He wants Deontay Wilder to go on his resume. But I'll say this, like, this type of move from Oleksandr Usyk, after he's just vacated all his other titles in the heavyweight division, yeah, avoiding a fight. Some people might say a duck. You know, some people might say, yeah, he doesn't want to fight the next gen, the next hungry lions that are coming up. After, you know, vacating the titles, not fighting Agi Kabayao. Some people might look at this move from Oleksandr Usyk as like a weak move. You know, they might look at him like, yo, like, this is damaging to your legacy, you know, and he might give some legitimacy to those boxing fans out there that will say, you know, he ducked Agi Kabayao. He doesn't want no smoke with these young, up-and-coming hungry lions like Moses Itauma included in that. People might start saying that about Oleksandr Usyk, and I hate that for Usyk, because for me, yeah, he's the greatest heavyweight of this era. You know, he's going to really be up there amongst the greatest of all time, depending where you want to place him, 10th, 15th. It don't really matter, innit? Some people might not even place him, you know, rank him in the top 10 heavyweights of all time. But I have him top 20, top 15 is about there, you know. But this type of move against a Deontay Wilder who is 41 years of age, for me, is washed. You know what I mean? He hasn't got the powers that he used to have. Listen, a lot of people will tell you, coaches and fighters will tell you that the last thing that leaves a fight is the power. Yes, Deontay Wilder still probably has some power, but what he doesn't have no longer is the athleticism. You know what I mean? He hasn't got the speed, the athleticism. He just hasn't got none of that. You know, that's all gone. And also Wilder, like, he's already been washed by Joseph Parker. He's been washed by Zhile Zhang. I mean, he went life and death with Derek Chisora. You know, he couldn't knock out Derek Chisora. Chisora ate the biggest punches from Deontay Wilder. That right hand, it landed on Chisora, and Chisora was still standing there. And Chisora himself is like 42 years old. So if Wilder couldn't knock him out, you know, and he went life and death with him, like what chance has he got against Oleksandr Usyk, who, even though against Rico Van Hooven in the first fight, did diminish a little bit, was a bit slower, he came in a bit heavy. His reflexes wasn't the same as he was against, you know, when he fought against Dubois the second time, Fury the first and second time against AJ, but he'll still have enough, you know what I mean, elite boxing skills in him to overcome a Deontay Wilder. So for me personally, this fight, it doesn't really make sense, man. I'm just keeping it real. I would have preferred a fight at the rematch against Rico Van Hooven because that's more competitive. We already saw that Rico Van Hooven has some smoke for Oleksandr Usyk in the first fight. He wanted all that smoke. He went out there, no respect for Usyk, none of that. He did not respect any of Usyk's achievements in that ring. He went for him, gave him the toughest fight in the heavyweight division. Let's keep it real. The kickboxer came into boxing, yeah, and took the heavyweight champion of the world, who most people consider to be the greatest heavyweight of this era. He took him to the brink, man. Do you know what I mean? He took him all the way. And if it wasn't for a referee intervention, some people say that the referee stepped in a bit too early. If it wasn't for that, man, like, Usyk would have lost on point. Because during that fight, I was doing a live commentary for the fight, and I was scoring the fight, yeah? I had Usyk 2 or 3 rounds down, so he could have lost on the cards. You know what I mean? So for me, a rematch against Rico Van Hooven, that's the fight to make for Oleksandr Usyk. You know, Wilder, like, who wants to see that fight? Like, I'm just keeping it real. I like Deontay Wilder, but that fight against Usyk is not going to be competitive. And it doesn't actually do anything for Usyk's legacy. Like, it doesn't add nothing to Usyk's legacy if Usyk beats him, because everyone else has already beaten Wilder. You know, Wilder is not the same Wilder of 10 years ago. He hasn't got the same powers. Let's keep it real, yeah? So it doesn't add nothing to Oleksandr Usyk legacy if he does beat Wilder, you know? And I don't think, I'm just keeping it real, I don't see any way on this God's green earth that Deontay Wilder beats Oleksandr Usyk. You know, I know he has a puncher's chance and he could get lucky. I just don't see it happening. The Wilder just hasn't got the speed, the athleticism. He hasn't got that venom, you know, that viciousness on that right hand no longer for him to actually catch Oleksandr Usyk with something big to actually put him away. I just don't see that happening. You know, so for Usyk, he has to explore the Rico Van Hooven fight, the rematch, for me personally. Or is Oleksandr Usyk scared? Like, is like, not, okay, maybe scared is the wrong word to use, but is Oleksandr Usyk no longer wanting to be in competitive fights, you know, in fights where, you know, there's a risk of him losing? Against a Rico Van Hooven, there is a risk of him losing in a rematch, even though he will be better, but there's a risk there. Against Agi Kabayao, there's a risk Usyk could lose because Agi Kabayao, we know he's relentless to the body. Do you know what I mean? He's one of the best body punchers in the heavyweight division. He comes forward. He's a pressure fighter. He's got stamina for days. You know, Usyk is aware of that. Does he not want that smoke anymore? Like, do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to take risky fights anymore against a Moses Itauma, who's young, fast, southpaw. Do you know what I mean? Very dynamic, great punching combinations, etc. Usyk just doesn't want to be in those competitive fights no longer. That's just my opinion. So he's picking Deontay Wilder because he's thinking, you know what? I'm going to get a good payday. Turki Al-Sheikh is going to pay me well. And also, it's an easier fight. It's an easier option. Like, that is very dangerous for his legacy, man. I'm just keeping it real because if you compare him, you know, to one of the greats of recent times, I'm talking about you know, someone like a Vladimir Klitschko, who towards the end of his career, let me just show his last 2 fights. Look at the last 2 fights of Vladimir Klitschko before he retired. Tyson Fury, he fought Tyson Fury in 2015. Then 2 years later, he fought Anthony Joshua. And by the time Vladimir Klitschko fought against Anthony Joshua, he was like 39 years old. And Joshua was 27 years old. So Vladimir Klitschko, yeah, towards the end, he didn't have no gimmicky fights. Like, he had very competitive fights against young, hungry lions. So a lot of fans might actually say, you know what, we've got more respect for Vladimir Klitschko than we do for Oleksandr Usyk, because the way Oleksandr Usyk is going out is as if he's going out with a damper, man. You know what I mean? He wants easy fights where he's going to get paid loads of money, and he doesn't want no jeopardy. He doesn't want to take that risk no longer. I understand it. I get it. He wants to protect that. Oh, he doesn't want to lose. You know what I mean? He wants to retire undefeated. I get all that. But I'm just thinking from a fan's perspective. You know, when these boxing fans, a lot of boxing fans start ranking fighters amongst the greatest, like who's the greatest? They start looking at who you fought, like how competitive your fights were. You know what I mean? Did you fight other great fighters? How did you end your career? Did you fight the next hungry lion? Was there, you know, like questions like that will be asked of Oleksandr Usyk. And I just feel like for Oleksandr Usyk's sake, when they look back in like 20 years, they're going to say, oh, look who Oleksandr Usyk fought towards the end. Rico van Hooven. He fought Deontay Wilder. He fought a kickboxer. And then he fought a 41-year-old former heavyweight champion who's not the same no longer, who's washed up. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the road, he fought him and he beat him. He avoided or he ducked fighting the next hungry lion in Agi Kabayao. The people will ask that question. You know what I mean? If you go back and you look at some of the other greats, people do ask questions of them. Obviously, Oleksandr Usyk is not the only great heavyweight who towards the end of the career has some gimmicky fights, yeah? But I don't want that for Oleksandr Usyk. I personally think he's still got enough in the tank to fight a Kabayao, to fight a Frank Sanchez, to fight a Moses Itauma. But I don't know. Maybe it could be Usyk himself or people who are advising him, people in his team that are telling him, you know what, listen, man, you've made your money. Let's not risk it. Have some easier fights against a Deontay Wilder. Under Zuffa boxing, you're going to get paid handsomely and then walk away. Maybe that's the advice that he's getting. But for me personally, yeah, like this fight against Deontay Wilder for me is pointless and it's too late. It's just too late because Wilder is just not the guy that he used to be, man. But listen, my people, let me know what you think about this potential clash between Oleksandr Usyk and Deontay Wilder, man. Would you watch it? You know what I mean? Do you think it's going to be competitive at all? For me personally, I don't think so. But I would rather see a rematch between Oleksandr Usyk and Rico van Hooven. I believe that's what the fans want to see. There's an appetite for that because how the fight ended, the first fight. You know what I mean? And it's going to be way more competitive than a washed up Deontay Wilder, man. I'm just keeping it real. But listen, my people, let me know your opinions in the comments. Please don't forget, smash the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hype up the channel. You know what I mean? Do all the above. I'll really appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo, the realest in the game. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.